Is your source credible? Credible sources: who, what, where, when, and why. A tutorial for technical and community college students. This tutorial will give you the information you need to determine if a source you have chosen is reliable or credible and appropriate for your assignment or research needs. At the end of this tutorial, you will be able to evaluate your sources for credibility by answering the questions who, what, where, when, and why. You will learn how to locate and evaluate these criteria in books, journals, and websites. You will learn how to select the most appropriate sources for your information needs. Your assignment. Before you begin finding sources for your assignment, know what kind of information and the kind of sources you need to complete the assignment. What kind of information are you looking for? Presenting information, gathering various opinions, evaluating research? What kind of sources do you need for this assignment? Trade or professional journal, scholarly journal, research and case studies, book, website? This information will help you determine if the sources you have chosen are appropriate for your assignment and/or research project. It's a big world. How do we know what information is reliable and what is not? There is a great deal of information out there. Some of it is excellent, some of it is not. You will find a great amount of information and will have to evaluate it yourself to determine if it is credible and reliable. A credible source means that the information or content of a particular source, book, website, scholarly, or trade journal is accurate, reliable, and trustworthy. Criteria used to check your source. Is it credible? Who is the author? What is the information about? Where was it published? When was it published? Why was it written? Using these 5 criteria, you will be able to identify whether the source you have chosen is credible and trustworthy. Finding the answers to the questions, one step at a time. Grab your assignment and a source you need to consider, and we will walk through the criteria together and answer the questions who, what, when, where, and why. Who is the author? How do we know who wrote it? Is the author identified? Can you locate background information about the author? The Introduction to Horse Nutrition is written by Zoe Davies. She has degrees in animal and equine sciences and is a registered equine nutritionist. 5 Myths of Horse Nutrition from the website The Feed Room is a blog written by Megan C. The website is sponsored by Nutrina, an animal feed company. Without the author's last name, it is not possible to learn about her background. Ask yourself when you are evaluating a resource, why is the author qualified to talk about this topic? What is the information about? Does this information address your research question? Is it written at a level useful to you and as suggested by your instructor? Is it for a general or a professional audience? In this example, the Diabetes Manifesto is written for the patient. Nursing Management of Diabetes Mellitus is written for nurses and other health professionals. Other questions to ask are, will you get enough information from this source, or is it too in-depth? Is the information presented in a useful way? Where was it published? Books, journals, websites, and even blogs all have publishers. Some questions to ask: what agency or organization sponsored or funded it? What information do you have that makes you trust or not trust the publisher or sponsor? Here you have 2 popular-looking psychology books. If you Google the publishers of these 2 books, you will find that Oxford University Press focuses on publishing research. Cypress House is used by authors who want to self-publish their writing. Which 2 of these sources would you be more likely to choose? What do you think about the author of your source as it relates to your assignment? When was it written? Do you need current information? Have there been recent developments in this topic? Is this information too old to be useful? For example, treatments for leukemia need to be more current than criticism of a Shakespearean play. Is the date of your source right for your research? Why was it written and for whom? Was it written to educate, to persuade or sell, or to inform? Is it opinionated or emotional, or is it balanced and scholarly? For whom was it written? For students? If so, what age? For professionals in their field or the general public? You need to be skeptical as you evaluate a source for your college-level research. Nursing Made Incredibly Easy looks like a trade journal, but according to its mission statement, all of the articles are peer-reviewed. What do you think about why your source was written in relationship to your topic? Now that we have gone over the steps on how to determine if your source is credible, test your knowledge and take the quiz by clicking the link. In this tutorial, we have discussed the criteria for evaluating your source. You should now be able to tell whether the information you have will work for your assignment. To review this information, click on Review to print out this list of criteria. Remember, ask the questions who, what, when, where, and why. What we have covered today is how to tell if your source is credible. If you have questions about your source, ask your librarian or instructor. Credible Sources was created by Jane Blume, Library Director at Bellingham Technical College, Traci Taylor, Librarian at Bellingham Technical College, and Andrea GillaspySteinhilper, Librarian at Lower Columbia College.